Oh, hey, Mark Sweeney here from Austin Dental Spa. It's a new month, and we've got a new theme for a new month. As you know, if you've tuned in before, we always have a theme every month, and the theme for this month is December Dreaming, which is why I had my eye guards on and was doing a little snooze here before Wisdom Wednesday. If you've tuned in before, as you know, on Wisdom Wednesdays, we do a little scientific topic. There's always new studies coming out. Today is no different. I think you're going to really like this one. It's relevant for all of us, and wanted to introduce the new theme for the month of December Dreaming by doing a little dreaming myself. Have you ever had big dreams? And how good were you at making those dreams come true? Well, that's what we're going to talk about today. There's a recent study. The study actually came out of the University of Basel in Switzerland, but the study group came from 17,000 people in the United Kingdom. So they took that database. Now, the interesting thing about this group of 17,000 individuals, they were all born on the same week in 1958. That was 66 years ago. They've been following this group of United Kingdom psychologists have been following this group of people for 66 years. So the researcher at the University of Basel in Switzerland got a hold of this data and looked at it through his eyes, and specifically he was looking for what did they dream about when they were 5 or 6 years old, and what were they still dreaming about what they were going to be when they grew up as teenagers, and then how did those dreams come to pass. And this is interesting information, and that's why we're starting out this month of December Dreaming with this particular study, because this guy in Switzerland actually specifically looked at educational and occupational aspirations. He didn't care about all the other stuff, mortality rates and cancer rates and all that kind of stuff. He was just looking at those two specific things, educational and occupational aspirations, and the relevance to how their lives turned out, because now at 66 years old, most of them have had their work careers and are starting to retire now. And so I thought this was a very interesting study. It investigated the relevance of career aspirations in social mobility and later life satisfaction, things that we all consider relatively important. These studies were just recently reported or published in the European Economic Review. So if you want to look at it into it a little further, you can Google that and find this. But again, I said 17,000 people that were all born in the same week in 1958. And the data set they gathered, they looked at these things: childhood environment, professional and financial backgrounds of the parents, ability levels, which they measure on a couple of different scales, aspirations when they were youth, and then their occupation and well-being as adults. Because again, these are 66-year-old people now. So they were looking at, that's what the guy in Switzerland looked at, it is those 5 things. And here's what he found. The people with ambitious career goals, he found that those ambitious career goals that were within their ability level motivated them, and they had more successful careers because they had those greater career aspirations. Now, the flip side of that is he also found that people that had unrealistically high aspirations, either because of their social standing or just their ability level, they wanted to be the next Einstein and win a Nobel Prize, but they couldn't make any better than B's or C's in science, probably unrealistically high expectations. But they found that those people that they decided had unrealistically high expectations as teenagers, actually it had a negative effect on their well-being as adults. The important caveat to that, as they studied them, and that's one of the beauties of this study, is they followed these people, are still following them now, the ones that are still alive. But after 66 years, they found that they might not have had as exciting of an adult life, but that as they got older and they got closer to retirement, all that stuff kind of negated it, kind of went away. But if they measured them in the height of their adult working career, they were less satisfied than the people who kind of stayed in their lane and didn't aspire for things that were greater than what they had the capability to accomplish. I found that was, in fact, the researcher in Switzerland used the term appropriately ambitious goals. And I thought those are two great words there, appropriately ambitious. So they didn't hope for something that was greater than their ability level. So what I got from this is, hey, dream big. Dream big. Don't dream so big that, you have no science background, but you decide you want to be an astronaut and go to the moon, and you're 50 years old. Probably not going to happen. I had dreams as a teenager of playing in the NBA someday, till I got to college and met my first 6'11", 7-foot guy, and he was up here with a wingspan of about 10 feet, and I realized that's the norm in the NBA. Even back in the 70s, there was no way as a 6'3" small forward that I was going to so I became a dentist instead. Not a bad second choice. So and my health tip of the week. So that was it for that particular study. I just thought it was interesting and a good way to start the week. And so my health tip, I always give a health tip, which usually is about sleeping better, getting more sleep, eating better, all the exercise. But we're going to segue what that scientific topic was about into how to dream big. And scientists have found there are a couple of different techniques that you can use, two in particular, to help you dream big and help you meet those dreams. One is to confront your fear of failure. And they said, they used Thomas Edison as a particular example, because Edison was famous for spending many, many years trying to invent the light bulb. 10,000 times he had failures. So that was a couple a day over a many, many year period. And the time right before he finally found a successful formula for inventing the light bulb, someone said, "Why do you keep trying? You've failed so many times." He said, "I haven't failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that don't work." And he kept trying. And eventually at around 10,000 tries, he hit the right combination and is credited with inventing the light bulb. So you have to have a growth mindset, meaning that you focus more on the journey and not on the end goal, or you'll get frustrated and demotivated and likely quit. But if you focus on what are you learning each step along the way and lose that fear of failure, you are more likely to be successful. Now, this is another one that's kind of a flip side. Number two, researchers found you have to learn to confront your fear of success. So not just your fear of failure, but your fear of success. Because failure, and let's be honest, failure gets all the attention. People love to see those videos on social media where people are trying to climb up a ladder and they miss a rung and they fall all the way back down to the bottom again. Or they try, skateboarding off the top of a house and they fall before they get to the edge of the house. It doesn't turn out as well. And people enjoy seeing other people fail. But a failure of success can mean you're worried about having to take on new responsibilities because you're successful at what you're doing, and so boss or supervisor notices that and gives you more to do. Some people are afraid that if they are too successful, they'll get more stuff loaded onto their plate. Number two, attaining new financial or social levels beyond your family or your friends group. We all know that old situation, or at least I've certainly, you achieve a certain level of success, and some people that were back at the original level won't talk to you anymore or don't want to hang around you anymore because you're making them confront their fear of failure. And again, like that segues into that, other people's jealousy. A lot of people spend a lot of time worrying about what other people are thinking about what they're doing. What I found many, many years ago is people weren't thinking much about me at all. They were thinking about themselves. And so quit worrying about what other people think and just put one foot in front of the other every day and identify what success means to you, and then put your nose to the grindstone and go for it. So that's how we start off the month of December with Dreaming Big. Next week, I'll have another episode of Wisdom Wednesday, and we'll talk about another offshoot of December Dreaming. So I'll see you next week. Have a good week.